want change, you want growth, you want that next level in your life, then you've got to stop waiting for motivation to magically show up. It's not coming. You create momentum by taking action, even when you don't feel like it. And if you really want to build something powerful, something sustainable, you've got to focus on three things: your mind, your body, and your soul. Let's start with your mind. Your thoughts dictate everything. If you're constantly telling yourself you're tired, you're stuck, you're not good enough, guess what? You'll believe it. And when you believe it, you'll live it. But here's the kicker: your brain will believe anything you repeat often enough. So start feeding it something better, something empowering. Stop waiting to feel ready. You're never going to feel ready. No one does. But you can decide to show up anyways. You can decide that today is the day you start thinking differently. Now your body. I don't care how many deadlines you have, how much is on your plate. If you're not moving, you're losing. Your energy comes from movement. You've got to protect your energy like it's your greatest asset, because it is. You don't have to run a marathon. Just move, walk, stretch, breathe, get that blood flowing. You start moving and suddenly your mind starts firing differently. Your confidence grows. Your choices shift. It's all connected. And your soul, that's the part we ignore when we're too busy grinding. But you can't fake peace. You know when you're out of alignment. You feel it in your chest. You hear it in the quiet moments. That's your soul talking to you. You've got to listen. Make space for silence, for reflection, for gratitude. Fill your soul or the world will drain it for you. And don't wait for permission to rest, to unplug, to reconnect with what makes you you. The soul doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you don't slow down, you'll miss it. Here's the truth: you're not just a mind, you're not just a body, and you're not just a soul. You are all three. And when one part is off, it drags everything else down with it. But when you align them, when you take care of your thoughts, your physical energy, and your inner peace, you become unstoppable. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to take control of today, right now, this moment. So you are one decision away from a completely different life, so stop waiting. Stop doubting, start choosing. Focus on your body, focus on your soul. Do it every day. And watch what happens. Let me tell you something that will absolutely change your life if you let it. Your thoughts are not just things. They are not harmless. They are not background noise. Your thoughts create your reality. They decide how you show up, what you believe you're capable of, how you handle adversity, and whether or not you ever take that first step towards something bigger. And here's the kicker. Most people are walking around on autopilot, letting the same self-defeating thoughts run the show day after day without ever stopping to question them. Let's get brutally honest here. You are not tired. You are not broken. You are not too late, too old, too far behind. What you are is stuck in a mental loop that you keep reinforcing every single time you repeat those thoughts to yourself. And the problem isn't that you have those thoughts. We all do. The problem is that you believe them. Your brain is wired for patterns. It loves habits. The thoughts you think most frequently become mental grooves, like tracks on a well-worn paths. And your brain follows those tracks automatically. So if you constantly say to yourself, I'll never be successful, I always mess things up, or I don't have what it takes, guess what your brain starts doing? It starts looking for proof that those things are true. Not because they are true, but because your brain wants to be efficient. It wants to confirm the script you've given it. But here's the truth: nobody talks about your thoughts are a choice. And if you don't like where they're taking you, you can rewrite the script. Right now, today, you want to change your life. Start by changing what you say to yourself when nobody's listening. Because that voice in your head, that inner narrator, is either building you up or tearing you down. And if you don't take control of it, it will control you. Now, I'm not talking about toxic positivity here. This isn't about pretending everything's amazing when it's not. This is about getting honest with yourself and deciding to stop feeding the mental garbage that keeps you small. You don't need to go from, I'm a failure, to, I'm a superstar overnight. That's not realistic. But you can shift to something grounded and constructive. Instead of, I'll never be good at this, you say, I'm learning, and it's okay to be messy while I grow. That's a thought you can work with. That's a thought that moves you forwards. And let's talk about what happens when you do start shifting your thinking, because this is where the magic kicks in. When you start choosing better thoughts, ones that support you instead of sabotage you, your energy changes, your behavior changes, your confidence grows, and opportunities start to appear. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you changed the way you engage with it. Think about it. If you walk into a room thinking, no one wants to hear what I have to say, you'll shrink, you'll hold back, you'll miss chances. But if you walk in thinking, I have something valuable to offer, you show up differently. You speak up. You make eye contact. You radiate something that people feel. That is the power of your thoughts in action. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, Mel, but I've had these same thoughts for years. I don't know how to change them. Listen to me closely. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to interrupt the pattern. That's it. Catch the thought when it shows up. Call it out. Say, nope, not today. You don't need to replace it with the perfect mantra. You just need to stop letting it drive the bus. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation of everything else. You can't build a strong life on a weak mindset. And here's the best part, your brain is plastic. That means it can change. It's not fixed. The more you practice new, empowering thoughts, the easier they become. Eventually, they become your new default. But it starts with awareness. You have to notice what you're thinking. You have to pay attention to the language you use, especially the things you say on repeat. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. These aren't facts. They're beliefs. And beliefs can be rewritten. So try this. For one day, just one. I want you to monitor your thoughts like your life depends on it. Because honestly, it does. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, stop. Pause. Ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this moving me forward or keeping me stuck? And then choose something better, something truer, something rooted in growth. You want the next level of your life. You need the next level of your thinking. That's the real work. It's not fancy. It's not loud. But it is life-changing. You already have everything it takes. You just need to stop believing the thoughts that say you don't. Because your life will always move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. Make them count. Let's talk about one of the biggest lies we've been sold, that motivation is what you need to change your life. That if you could just get motivated enough, everything would fall into place. You'd wake up early, hit the gym, start the business, write the book, clean up your finances, fix your relationships, change your life. Motivation has become this mythical thing we're all waiting for. Like it's going to swoop in and rescue us from procrastination and fear and self-doubt. Well, I hate to break it to you, but motivation is garbage. It's unreliable. It's inconsistent. And if you're relying on it to change your life, you're going to be waiting a long time. That voice in your head that says, I'll start when I feel ready. That voice is lying to you. You will never consistently feel ready to do the hard things. And that's not a flaw, that's human biology. See, your brain is wired to keep you safe, to avoid discomfort, to resist change. Anything that feels uncertain or unfamiliar, your brain registers it as a threat, even if it's good for you, even if it's exactly what you need. So when you tell yourself, I'll take action when I feel like it, what you're really saying is, I'll take action when it's easy. And guess what? Real change isn't easy. Growth isn't comfortable. Discipline isn't fun. But it is powerful. Here's the truth. Action comes first and feelings follow. That's the key most people miss. You don't wait to feel confident. You act, and confidence shows up later. You don't wait to feel inspired. You start, and the inspiration builds as you go. It's backward from what you've been taught. You do the thing, and then you become the person. That's how it works. Think about it. How many times have you sat around waiting to feel like it? How many days, weeks, or years have passed with you stuck in the same spot because you were hoping motivation would finally knock on the door? And yet the people who actually change their lives, they're not more motivated than you. They've just stopped negotiating with their feelings. They've made a decision to act no matter what. That decision, that willingness to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, is what builds discipline. And discipline beats motivation every single time. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when it's dark and cold. It's what helps you say no to distractions when you're chasing a goal. It's what makes you show up again and again when no one's clapping and no one's watching. And it's how you build trust with yourself. Because every time you follow through, you're telling your brain, I can count on me. You know what really builds momentum? Tiny actions. 5 seconds of courage. One uncomfortable choice at a time. That's why I talk about the 5-second rule. You get an idea, a spark, a nudge to do something good for yourself. You've got 5 seconds to act on it before your brain talks you out of it. You don't need a master plan, you need to move. Call the person. Send the email. Put on your shoes, open the laptop. Start the thing. Do it before your excuses have a chance to show up. Because once you take that first step, however small, your whole physiology changes. Your brain wakes up. You start generating energy instead of waiting for it. You shift from passive to active. And the more often you do that, the more momentum you create. You stop being someone who thinks about change and start being someone who creates it. And here's the best part, action is contagious. One good choice leads to another. You go for a walk and suddenly you want a healthier meal. You speak up in one meeting and suddenly you're leading the next one. You sit down to write 1 paragraph and 3 pages spill out. The more you act, the less power resistance has. The less you wait, the more you become the kind of person who doesn't need to. Look, I get it. You're busy. You're tired. You've got a million reasons to wait. But let me ask you this, where has waiting gotten you? Are you closer to where you want to be? Or are you still stuck in the same cycle of overthinking, procrastinating, and wishing? If you want change, you've got to stop waiting to feel like it. You've got to stop chasing motivation and start building momentum. And that begins with a decision. It's not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because your future isn't built on how you feel. It's built on what you would do consistently day after day, even when it's hard. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. So you don't need motivation. You need action. Make the call. Take the step. Show up for yourself. Again and again and again. And watch how your life starts to move. Let's get something straight right now. Your body is not just a container you carry your mind around in. It's not just something to shrink or style for photos. Your body is your power source. And if you're not moving it, you're draining it. You are flatlining your energy, your clarity, and your ability to show up fully in your life. You want to feel more alive? Get up. Move. We've got it backward. We think we need energy to move, but it's actually the opposite. You move, and then you get energy. Your body creates it through action. Movement is fuel. It's the secret weapon to unlocking mental clarity, emotional resilience, and even self-confidence. And no, you don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to crush yourself at the gym. You don't need a perfect routine. You just need to stop being still all the time. You were not designed to sit for 10 hours a day in front of a screen and wonder why your brain is foggy. Your mood is low and your motivation is gone. Your body is meant to move daily, consistently, purposefully. And I'm not just talking about aesthetics here. I'm talking about biology, chemistry, and real life results. Let me break it down for you. When you move your body, when you walk, stretch, dance, lift, run, breathe deeply, you activate your brain. You increase blood flow. You release endorphins. You reduce cortisol. You process stress instead of storing it. You wake up parts of yourself that have been lying dormant under layers of stress, fatigue, and emotional clutter. Movement clears space for better thinking, better decisions, and better focus. You ever notice how a simple walk can shift your entire mindset? You're stuck in your head, spiraling, overthinking, and then you move your body and suddenly things don't feel quite so heavy. That's not a coincidence. That's science. That's momentum. That's your nervous system recalibrating. That's your body doing its job. You're not lazy, unmotivated, or broken. You're just disconnected from your most powerful tool, your physical self. You don't need a full workout plan to get back to yourself. You just need to start. 5 minutes of stretching, a walk around the block, 10 squats while your coffee brews. Do something that reminds your brain you're still in there, still alive, still capable of creating movement in your life. That small shift will wake you up in ways you can't even imagine. And listen, this isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming you fully. You start moving your body regularly and something powerful starts to happen. You trust yourself more. You respect yourself more. You show up differently, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You look in the mirror and see someone who takes care of themselves. Someone who's committed. Someone who moves, even when it's hard. You build proof. Proof that you keep promises to yourself. Proof that you don't need a perfect plan to take action. Proof that you're stronger than your excuses. That's what daily movement gives you. It's not about willpower. It's about identity. Every time you move, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. And don't tell me you don't have time. That's not true. You make time for what matters. So you've just been conditioned to believe that movement is optional. It's not. It's essential. You schedule meetings. You schedule calls. Start scheduling time to reconnect with your own bodies. Because here's the truth. If you don't take care of it now, it will demand your attention later. And not in a way you'll like. It's not about going all in, all at once. It's about doing something today. Get back into your body. Feel your legs under you. Feel your lungs expand. Stretch your arms and take up space. Reclaim the energy that's been locked away in tension and stillness. You'll be amazed at how much clarity and momentum are waiting on the other side of just a little movement. Your body is not the problem. It's the solution. It's not the enemy. It's the engine. And when you treat it like the priority it is, not an afterthought, not a core, you unlock levels of focus, joy, and resilience that you didn't even know you had. You want to feel stronger mentally. Move. You want more emotional control. Move. You want motivation, confidence, clarity, purpose. A move. It's every day in some way. Build that habit, not for anyone else. Not for likes, not for aesthetics, not for pressure. For you. Because your life depends on your energy. And your energy depends on your body. So don't wait until it's convenient. Don't wait until you feel like it. Move your body. Move your life. And watch what shifts. Let's slow down for a second and talk about something most people are completely neglecting in the hustle, in the grind, in the chaos of everyday life, your soul. Yeah, I said it. You're a soul. And before you roll your eyes or think this is going to be all woo-woo and crystals, just stay with me. Because this is real. This is humans. This is about the part of you that knows when something's off, even when everything on the outside looks fine. We live in a world that celebrates hustle and productivity like they're the ultimate goals. We've been trained to believe that if we're not achieving something, checking something off, moving fast, or staying busy, we're falling behind. So we fill our calendars. We chase the next goal. We scroll endlessly, comparing ourselves to people we don't even know. And so slowly we don't even notice it, we disconnect from ourselves, from that quiet, powerful inner voice, from our peace, from our truth. That voice, that's your soul talking to you. And when you don't make space to hear it, life gets noisy. You get anxious. You get reactive. You start doing things out of obligation instead of intention. You say yes when you mean no. You feel exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. That's not because you're lazy. It's because your soul is drained. And here's what no one tells you your soul doesn't shout. It whispers. That means you can't hear it over constant noise and distraction. You can't hear it when your brain is racing from one task to the next, or when you're constantly plugged into everyone else's opinions and expectations. You've got to create space to hear it. You've got to slow down on purpose. I'm not talking about running away to a retreat in the mountains or meditating for an hour a day. I'm talking about tiny moments of reconnection. A quiet walk without your phone. A few deep breaths before you answer that next email. Writing down your thoughts before the world gets loud. Pausing long enough to ask yourself, how do I actually feel right now? And being honest about the answer. You want to know why you feel off even when life looks fine. It's because you're out of alignment with your soul. You've been living according to someone else's priorities. You've been too busy proving your worth to actually check in with what matters to you. But that inner part of you, that soul, is always trying to guide you back home. And let's be real, soul work isn't easy. It means getting honest about what's not working. It means feeling things you've been avoiding. It means slowing down when everything in you is screaming to speed up and fix everything. But here's the thing. When you give your soul room to breathe, you get clarity, you get grounded, you make better decisions. You stop being pulled in 100 directions and start moving in one with purpose. Your soul is where your peace lives. It's where your values live. It's the filter that tells you what's real and what's just noise. And if you're not checking in with it regularly, you're going to keep feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and lost. Even if your to-do list is getting crushed, this isn't about being soft. This isn't about being fragile. In fact, honoring your soul is one of the strongest things you can do. It takes real strength to slow down in a fast world. It takes courage to set boundaries. It takes maturity to say, I don't want that life. I want my life. It takes self-respect to say no to things that look good on paper but feel wrong in your gut. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to listen. Start small. Check in with yourself. Journal. Breathe. Sit in silence for 5 minutes without a screen. Ask yourself, what do you want? Not what's expected of you. Practice gratitude, not just as a list, but as a feeling. Gratitude reconnects you with your soul faster than anything else I've ever found. It grounds you in what's real, in what matters, in the present moment. And when your soul is full, everything else flows differently. You stop chasing things to feel worthy. You stop measuring your life by how busy you are. You become more intentional, more peaceful, more you. And that's when real confidence shows up. Not the fake, loud kind that needs applause, but the quiet kind that knows who you are and doesn't need to prove anything. So here's the truth. Your mind needs structure, your body needs movement, but your soul needs space. It needs quiet. It needs care. And it needs you to stop abandoning it in the name of being productive. You already know what's missing, and you already have everything you need to reconnect with it. Don't wait until you burn out to start listening. Don't wait for life to force you to slow down. Choose it. Make it a non-negotiable. Your peace, your joy, your sense of meaning, they live in the space your soul creates when you finally give it room to speak. So listen, pay attention. Protect your soul like your life depends on it, because in every way that actually matters, it does. Let's stop sugarcoating it. If one part of your life is out of alignment, your mind, your body, or your soul, it will drag the rest down with it. You might not see it right away, but you'll feel it in your mood, in your energy, in the way you show up or don't. This is the hard truth. As alignment matters more than almost anything else. You can't fake being in sync with yourself. You can push through for a while, sure, you can grind. You can hustle. You can even succeed on paper. But deep down, if you're not aligned, something's going to feel off. Always. And most people never stop long enough to ask, where am I out of alignment? Instead, we look outwards. We try to fix the symptoms. We treat the exhaustion with caffeine, the anxiety with scrolling, the lack of purpose with productivity. We pile more on top instead of going inside and figuring out what needs to come off. But here's the thing, when you ignore misalignment, it doesn't go away. It just gets louder. It shows up as burnout, frustration, resentment, self-doubt, and eventually, if you ignore it long enough, it shows up as a life that looks fine from the outside but feels empty inside. Let me be real with you. You can't think clearly if your body is run down. You can't take care of your body if your mind is filled with negativity and anxiety. And you can't feel peace in your soul if you're constantly pushing yourself to be someone you're not. These three parts of you, mind, body, and soul, they are interconnected. They don't operate in silos. They function as one system. If one is neglected, they all suffer. Let's say your mind is sharp. You're reading, learning, growing intellectually, but your body is exhausted because you're not moving it or fueling it well. That disconnect will catch up with you. You'll feel foggy, frustrated, drained. Or maybe you're hitting the gym hard, taking care of your physical self, but your mind is filled with toxic thoughts and your soul is running on empty because you haven't taken a break in weeks. You'll still feel stuck. You'll wonder why everything feels so heavy, even you're doing everything right. That's the cost of misalignment. And you can't hustle your way out of it. You realign your life by coming back to yourself, by checking in with each part of you and asking, what do I actually need right now? Sometimes you need to challenge your mind, feed it new ideas, have tough conversations, question your beliefs. Other times, you need to get out of your head completely and move. Go for a walk, sweat, dance, breathe. And sometimes what you really need isn't stimulation or exertion. It's stillness. You need to turn the noise down and get quiet enough to hear what your soul is trying to tell you. And trust me, it's always trying to tell you something. When you start thinking in terms of alignment, your choices get clearer. That donut at 11 p.m., it might taste good, but how does it support the version of you that's trying to feel strong and sharp tomorrow? That job you're chasing that looks impressive but drains your spirit, is it worth it if it means living out of integrity with who you are? The people you surround yourself with, do they elevate you or do they exhaust you? These aren't just preferences. These are alignment checks. And they matter because when your mind, body, and soul are working together, really working together, you don't need to force anything. You don't need to push so hard. You don't feel like you're constantly swimming upstream. You move through life with clarity, energy, and purpose. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop overthinking every move. You just feel right because you are right with yourself. Here's what alignment feels like: waking up with energy, making choices that you're proud of, even when no one's watching, saying no without guilt and yes without fear. Feeling peace, not because everything's perfect, but because you're not abandoning yourself anymore. You're not chasing someone else's dream. You're building your own. And here's the beautiful part: alignment isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. It's about being in conversation with yourself every day, checking in, making adjustments, realigning when things feel off, because they will feel off sometimes. That's normal. What matters is that you catch it and do something about it. You don't have to overhaul your life. You just have to listen and respond with small intentional choices. So stop treating your mind like it's separate from your body. Stop pretending your soul can wait until you have more time. Everything you're trying to build, your goals, your relationships, your impact, it all flows from your alignment. Without it, you're scattered, stuck, disconnected. With it, you're powerful, centered, focused, alive. You don't need a new life. You need a realignment with the one you already have. Start now. Check in, get honest, and move forward. Not from pressure, but from power. Let me tell you something that has the power to flip your entire life around. And it's not some cliche or motivational fluff. It's a truth that most people overlook because it sounds too simple. As you are one decision away from a completely different life. Read that again. It's one decision away, not 10 steps, not a perfect 5-year plan, not waiting for the stars to align or for your boss to notice you or for the right time to come. Just one decision. And here's the catch. That decision usually doesn't feel big when you make it. It might be as small as getting up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. It might be saying yes to yourself for the first time in months. It might be walking away from what's been draining you, or finally choosing to show up for what you know matters. You don't need to wait for some mythical feeling of readiness. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't even need all the answers. You just need to choose. Choose to act. Choose to try. Choose to start. Now I know what you're thinking, but Mel, what if I mess it up? Here's the truth. You're human. That's part of it. But guess what? Most people are so afraid of making the wrong decision that they make no decision at all. And that indecision, that's a decision too. It's a decision to stay stuck, to stay exactly where you are. And staying stuck is way more painful than messing up and learning from it. There's this illusion that your life changes in these huge, dramatic moments. Quitting the job, getting married, moving across the country. But most of the time, the real shifts happen in silence. In a private moment of clarity when you say, I'm not doing this to myself anymore. Or, I'm ready to try again. That's where your life changes. In the quiet, internal choice to take ownership. Think about where you are right now. Look at your life. The routines, the people you're surrounded by, the way you treat your body, the way you speak to yourself. Every single part of your life is the result of decisions you've made or avoided. If you want something different, it starts with one new decision. And it doesn't have to be massive. It just has to move you. The smallest shift can spark the biggest transformation. So you decide to speak up in a meeting. That leads to more confidence. That confidence opens up an opportunity. That opportunity leads to a new role. And that new role changes your entire career path. It all started with a single decision to raise your hand. Or maybe it's personal. You decide to go for a walk instead of lying on the couch. That walk clears your head. You feel a little stronger. So you go again tomorrow? Then you start cooking at home more? You sleep better. You have more energy. You reconnect with your body. You start treating yourself like someone worth taking care of. Again, one decision. And here's the part most people miss when you make one brave decision. You prove to yourself that you can. You break the pattern. You disrupt the cycle. And that changes everything. Not just the external results, but how you see yourself. You stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances and start remembering that you're the one steering the wheel. You don't need motivation. You don't need a guarantee. You need courage. 5 seconds of it. That's all. The courage to say, I'm not going to keep living like this. The courage to take the first step before you're ready. The courage to trust that even if you fall, you'll figure it out. Because you will. This is your life. You don't get a redo. You don't get to hit pause until you feel brave or confident or perfectly prepared. Time is moving. Right now, the question is, are you moving with it? You don't have to change everything, just to something. Just one thing, one new choice. One small, uncomfortable but honest action that pulls you out of your loop and into forward motion. So that's how transformation starts. Not with a miracle. Not with someone saving you. With you deciding to save yourself. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for certainty. Choose something, act, move. Because your entire life can change. Not someday, not eventually, but the moment you stop overthinking and decide. Decide to be the kind of person who takes action. Decide to become someone your future self would be proud of. And then follow that decision with another one. Stack those choices. Build that momentum.